fourth grade, welcome, and are you ready for more art time? I hope so. The last drawing that we did was using perspective, and we're going to continue with another drawing that uses perspective. Here it is, a street scene. So I hope that you can see the similarity with the last drawing. Last time, if you remember, we had the road that disappeared up to the horizon line, and we had the telegraph poles that got gradually smaller and disappeared. Okay, so it's exactly the same trick, this thing called perspective. This time it's more complicated, and we're going to be doing more kind of measuring, drawing of guidelines to get everything in place. This is another challenge for you, but your drawing skills are developing so quickly now, we have to push these challenges onto you guys. Now, just one more thing before we get started is to talk about the style that I've used to draw this picture, which is very loose, sketchy style, even with the marker. And as I'll say later on, you don't have to do it that way. You can finish the picture in different ways. You can try and make it neater or color it if you want to. It doesn't have to be all one color. Who remembers what that's called, by the way, when it's all one color? Yes, it's called a monochrome picture. Okay, so you can finish it in any way. Really, the important thing is for you to practice and develop this skill of drawing with perspective. So, let's get going. So the first thing that we'll do is draw the horizon line. Now, all through this drawing, you can use a ruler if you want to, but you can also just practice sketching without it. Remember to hold the pencil in this kind of looser way, and we're going to just sketch in that horizon line. The next thing is to decide where our vanishing point is going to be, and for this drawing our vanishing point should be right there in the center. Now we're going to draw two lines that go up to the vanishing point. Again, if you want to use a ruler, you can do that. So you would put one end of the ruler here on the vanishing point, and the other end could swing out until you get the right kind of angle. Here on this side, another line that's going to go up to meet the vanishing point. Okay? So this is going to be our road. It's very wide at the bottom, and it goes up to this vanishing point, and what happens? It vanishes. It disappears. Okay, let's add a building. To put a building along this line, we're going to do some straight lines first of all. I want this to be a tall building, so it's going to go above the horizon line. Alright. The bottom of the building has an angled line then, doesn't it? And then on this side of the building, the bottom of the building has a straight line. The line goes in the same direction, the same straight line as the horizon does. Now we're going to go up. And there I'm going to draw the top of the building. Alright. Now I have this side of the building, which is really just a big rectangle, isn't it? This corner of the rectangle has a line that should go to the vanishing point. Okay, so that corner of the building has a line that should meet up with the vanishing point like that. And that gives us the top of the building. Alright, so now these lines here, this horizon line, we can take that out, because was that's behind the building now. Let's try one on this side. So as you can see, this building is wider at the bottom, but the process of drawing it is exactly the same. Alright, so let's tidy up a little bit. We're going to take away some of these lines. The edge of the road is going to disappear there. We don't need the lines for the top of the buildings here and here anymore. And we'll continue the drawing with some more buildings along the street. So here I'm lining up with the vanishing point, a line like that. That gives me the top of the building, you see? If one goes higher than the one next to it, that gets a little bit more complicated. Because now this vanishing point line is reaching up to touch the building like that. And the side of the building goes across. Remember, the side of the building, the top is always flat, a flat line like the horizon, and it's now going to, there the corner of the building disappears behind. Okay, now moving on to windows and doors for these buildings. If they're on these flat sides, they're kind of easier because they're just going to be regular rectangles. Just regular rectangles like that. But if they're on these sides that are disappearing towards the vanishing point, then it gets trickier. Look and see what happens as I draw the windows on this side. So what I did just there, this line has gone a little bit out of place, but the purpose of putting those lines in, what was that? Why did I do that? Those extra lines, well, they're guidelines, and they help me to see where I'm going to put these windows. And a door. So I hope you can see how the windows get a little bit smaller, or skinnier really is the word I should use. They get thinner, don't they, as they get closer to the vanishing point. Just as the buildings get thinner, so do the windows. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to draw in some guidelines for our windows that will help us, and then we'll add all the windows and doors for this side too. So this skill of making a perspective drawing is the most important thing to concentrate on this time for you guys. When you get to this stage though, you can finish the picture in any way you like. You can carry on with the pencil and use harder lines or shading, create some different tones. You could try that. You could use markers or color pencils. You could outline everything with a black marker. Of course, there are many ways to develop the picture. You could add things. You could try drawing people or cars on the street here. That would be a big challenge. I'm going to finish the picture with a marker, and I'm going to keep the style quite loose. So I want to kind of retain some of these sketchy lines because I like them. I actually think that they add character to the picture. So I'm not going to try and do it super neat. I'm going to keep it kind of loose. And here's the finished picture. A street scene using perspective. So, like I said at the start, a very challenging picture for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember to share your work. I can't wait to see what you've done.